Hello everyone, welcome to my live. Today it's Wednesday the 12th of November and just 1 minute past 6 p.m. UK time. I'm going to stay here as I usually do, maybe a couple of hours. For those who are watching this on replay, it always takes a little bit of time for the momentum to get started. And so if you don't know me, I'm a therapist and a coach, and I spend my free time here on YouTube to give some recommendations to whoever needs it in regards to anything to do with mental health, therapy, mindset, mindfulness, psychology, human behavior, and anything to do with the mind and how we can enhance our quality of life from those places. And so the way I start my life is always by reading and commenting on my own post that I would have put out today on TikTok. And eventually, by the end of it, hopefully some of you will have mustered the courage or found the inspiration to ask me some things about yourself. So if there's anyone, let me know if you can hear me well, please. JJ East Coast Art, thank you for your service. You're welcome, my pleasure. Okay, let's get started. The first post that I put out today on TikTok goes like this. You are too sensitive means I need you to tolerate my lack of intelligence better. And so in other words, don't let anyone gaslight you into believing that there's something wrong about you. We all have different level of sensitivity and it's all absolutely legit. We are different, and if we react to things, it's because those things are getting us to react. And so instead of shaming people for reacting, calling them snowflake or sensitive, we could develop some empathy and compassion and ask them, why are you reacting like that, so that we can connect with them at a deeper level. We don't realize that we live in a culture and society that is very cruel. We've been taught, we've been conditioned at school, at home, but also social media, everyone. We live in a culture that is very cruel. It's all about being, mocking others for being different, mocking people for not being normal. And there's no such thing as normal. And so that's why I'm highlighting that awareness in regards to ableism. No one is too sensitive, no one is needy. Or more like, we are needy and it's not a bad thing. We all have needs. All humans have some needs that must be met. And so when we're calling someone needy, we're essentially telling someone, I don't care about your needs. I don't care that you are in an uncomfortable state now. And again, that is very unkind. And if we do this, it's just out of habit. And so, yeah, I want to change those habits. JJ East Coast, I can hear you well. Thank you so much. Thank you. Lifestyle chat. Hello. JJ East Coast, what are your thoughts on a daily routine for mental health? They're great. As well, anything we can do, any level of awareness we have about our mental health is great. However, when it comes to mental health, the main thing is not those things. Those are like the trimmings at the Christmas dinner. We want to address the chunk, the roast. And that is essentially our unheard wounds, our unheard emotional blocks, and subconscious limiting belief. Those are the things you want to really address. Everything else is always extra and good, but a lot of people try to have some daily routine for their mental health, but they don't address the big elephant in the room, which is whatever trauma they have not resolved yet, whatever conditions they're not addressing either. Very often people come to see me or talk to me online and they tell me about how they have some conditions and they're asking me for some sort of hack. And again, if you have bipolar or borderline personality disorder, there are no hacks. It's really about addressing that thing as a priority. If you suffer from chronic anxiety or depression of any type, it's the same. Now, daily routine, I'd say maybe the best way to put it would be what sort of lifestyle would be best. And so in that case, yes, there are a lot of things that we can address when it comes to lifestyle changes for mental health. And so the first element that I want to address is that, and I often say this, there's no separation between your mind and your body. It's not like we are a mind and there's a body and there's a soul. We are one thing, it is the same thing. If we talk about the body, it's only because we're looking at it from the perspective of biology. I'm just checking here because for some reason it's not flashing. If we look at ourselves from the perspective of psychology, we're going to see a mind. So we're going to talk about mental health. But there's a strong connection now that is more and more demonstrated every day through researches and studies that it's one thing. The body is a mind. And so it goes both ways. The way we feel in our body will affect our mental health. And the way we think and we feel emotionally will also affect our physical health. And so lifestyle, the basics will be the same for both. First thing, sleeping. We must sleep a lot. We must sleep well. So important, both for our physical and our mental and emotional health. If we don't sleep, we are in a we're not in a position to regulate ourselves. And then we're going to be overwhelmed by anything and everything that is going to affect our mental, emotional, and physical health over time. Next, food, nutrition, gut health. Those are very generic, but they're very important. We don't realize how important those things are to all aspects of our life. It's not just about looking good, having a beach body, all those sort of things. It's really about optimizing our body, our mind, ourselves, our system that we are, by understanding how it works. And so sleep, eat, move, and then socializing, spending time in nature, having some sun in our face, also doing things that make us happy, relaxing, chilling, all of those things are so very important. And so yes, those are the things that I would recommend, and they're all slightly different for everyone. But I mean, they can be addressed in different ways depending on different people, their lifestyle, their body, their mind, their history so far, and also their priorities. But yes, if we can, a lot of people say, I can't afford mental health therapy. But it's a thing that we can absolutely afford, but doesn't cost any money. And it's really to address those things, lifestyle choices. So I often talk about the three things we should address. First, emotional triggers. This is what therapy does. But also lifestyle, as mentioned, and environment. And by environment, I mean the people at home and at work that we're surrounded with. And the greater conversation about this would be how to address society, the very structure of society. But that's a whole different conversation. What we can do as far as our environment is concerned is to make sure that we are surrounded by people who see us, who understand us, who support us, as opposed to people who are making things harder for us. And so yes, daily routine. Of course, people will talk about meditation, mindfulness, great, fantastic, yoga, somatic exercises to let go of the inbuilt stress that we start the day with. All of those things are very, very important. And so, but just finding whatever works for us individually. And so that brings us to that place where I often come, and that nothing is the result of just one thing. Everything about our life is a result of many different things all happening at the same time. And so the greater the picture, the understanding we have of ourselves, the more we can locate and find out what it is our priority to address. And so yes, JJ, East Coast Art. Does that answer your question? Duku, hey Didi, I'm happy to see you are better. Yes, I'm back on my feet, I'm back in my office, yes. I had a question for you. How does guilt versus shame fit into fear of abandonment? I hope you are feeling better. I am, thank you. So I put a long video today about shame and guilt. So I assume that you are referring to this, unless it's a huge coincidence. But do check this out, guys. It's a very, very important video as far as self-awareness is concerned, and how we can change by realizing that we are not our behavior. We're not what we do. We're not what we think. We're none of those things. Anyway, just one thing. I'm not sure why it's flashing. Could you bear with me, please, 1 second? Just a technical thing. Okay. I don't know why it's not green, but I'm going to carry on. As long as people can see me and hear me, I'm going to assume that everything is fine. So where was I? How do we bring the notion of guilt versus shame into the fear of abandonment? The fear of abandonment is connected to shame. We believe that we're not good enough, we're not worthy. We have never been loved, no one will ever love us, and we need to be loved because love means that we are safe. And so the fear of abandonment is really to get us to stay focused on never allowing anyone to ignore us, to not see us, to not love us the way we feel we should be loved. I'm not sure about how your question is framed. How does guilt versus shame fit into the fear of abandonment? I'm trying to understand the thinking. Fear of abandonment is something that we have because we've been traumatized. We suffered from some sort of trauma in childhood, and we feel that there's a glitch in our mind, and we feel the need to constantly be seen and loved unconditionally. Shame and guilt. Yeah, I'm not sure what to say about this. Shame is the idea that indeed we are not good enough, and because of that, there's that. Are you talking about borderline personality disorder? So, in a nutshell, the difference between shame and guilt is that shame is I am bad, whereas guilt is I have done something bad. And so the video that I was mentioning is about realizing that shame doesn't serve any positive purpose. It's terrible. It's just toxic. Whereas guilt can be positive. Guilt can highlight the things that we can change about ourselves. If we keep on avoiding some aspects of us, if we avoid some of our behavior because we are too ashamed of it, then we're never going to change anything. In order to fix something, we must know that there's something that must be fixed. So there needs to be some level of awareness of it. And with guilt, this is what happens. With guilt, we are realizing that we've done something bad, but it's okay because we can change that thing. We can learn how to develop a new and better behavior over some period of time. Does that answer your question, Duku? JJ East Coast Art. Yes, thank you. Okay, thank you. Duku, yep, you're good. I do indeed refer to the video. Okay, so I hope that whatever I said made sense. Amanda hung a kiss. Hello, Amanda. I'm just wondering why it's not working. Okay, let it go. Trust the universe. Okay, so I'm coming to the end of the thread for now. I'm going to continue reading and commenting on my post. And hopefully, again, when you're ready, we can talk about other things. Another post that I put out today goes like this. Recovering from religious trauma means moving from I need Jesus to save me to I am enough. And this is to highlight how so many people are damaged because of some wrongdoings of some people who are misusing religions to manipulate and control people instead of connecting them to the divine, to people as well, to themselves. And so, something that is very important to realize is that many tenets of religions, and the one that I'm the most familiar with would be Christianism, are essentially the very reason as to why so many people suffer from mental and emotional problems. So the three tenets are, number one, there's a hell and a heaven, and if you don't do well, you're going to end up in hell. So now we're living in fear as a starter. And then you are born a sinner. So from the start also, shame. And then next, you need a savior. So this is teaching us that we're not enough. We can't do it on our own. We have to wait for the Savior to come and fix us. So those three things are the basics of Christianism, and they really, really hurt so many people. And even if we're not religious, we all share a society that is structured and designed on religious dogma. So having an awareness of this can make a huge difference. And again, I'm not against religion or Christians. I really accept it and respect everyone. But I need to highlight that some people use religion to hurt others. Amanda, I agree wholeheartedly. Okay, thank you. Religion, yes, LOL. Rohi, what is the difference between love and limerence? Okay. Limerence is an obsession. It's an addiction. Limerence is the idea that, the belief that I have to be loved by that person and that person only. There's no one like that person in the whole world, and I need to find a way to get that person to love me. That's what limerence is. Love is I appreciate you, and I enjoy being with you, and I want all the best for you. That's what love is about. There's no conditions, there's no expectations. It's really appreciating someone and wanting the best for them. This is what love is about. So limerence is only going in one direction. I want you. I need you. I believe that no one else can do the job except you. And so it's only one direction. Yeah. I hope that answers your question. And limerence is often associated to some mental conditions, some, again, trauma response. A lot of things that we do are trauma response. And we don't realize that the vast majority of us, we have actually, indeed, some unresolved trauma. Because trauma comes in different sizes and shapes. And trauma is essentially, trauma is essentially the way our brain is going to develop because of some events that were overwhelming to us at some point in our lives. And so now our brain functions in different ways. And it's very important to remind people that there is such thing as big T trauma and small t trauma. Big T trauma is one big event, we know what it is, car accident, something like that, some traumatic experiences that are single and obvious. And there's the small t trauma. And the small t trauma is death by 1,000 cuts or 1,000 stings. And it's essentially a lot of little things that are happening over a long period of time that dent our sense of self and eventually corrode our self-esteem and our feeling of safety. And so our brain needs to adapt and to develop in different ways. And over a long period of time, it is just as damaging as big T trauma. And so, yes, limerence, it is to do with something quite intense. So we have a condition. People don't have limerence unless they have a condition. They may be overthinking about someone, but limerence is an obsession that is creating some problems in our lives. And this is often what people don't realize. There's a spectrum of emotions, states, and experience, and we will all experience the whole of it. However, for us to suffer from it, to get to the level where it's debilitating, is when we get the label. When people say everyone is a little bit ADHD or a little bit autistic, and it's just not true. Because for us to have that label, we need to have it to a level that is really affecting our quality of life. However, it is true that we will all experience some aspect of it in some capacity. The only difference would be the level of intensity, frequency, duration, and volume that will indicate whether it is a label that we can have. A lot of people say, I've been depressed in the past, you need to get over with it, it's not a big deal. Or sometimes I feel a bit anxious, get a grip. And again, they don't realize that indeed, anxiety and depression, there are things that we all experience as part of our human experience. However, when they become debilitating, it's a whole different level. And it's got nothing to do with that little snippet of anxiety, anger, or depression that we may have experienced once or twice in the past. And so, yep. Amanda, great question, great answer. Thank you. Why is crying so healing? Okay, that's a very good question. When we cry, we're literally producing some hormones that soothes us. In the tears, they are literally endorphin and serotonin. And so basically, all of those hormones that we physiologically create through the process of crying are like natural painkillers. When we cry, we are creating some chemicals to soothe physical and emotional pain. And that's why it's so important to cry when we feel like it. When we're holding our tears back, when we're trying not to cry, typically men, because boys don't cry. Now we're hurting ourselves. Because it's like I get hurt, bang, and I can take a painkiller, but I'm choosing not to. Because I've got to be strong. And this is just terrible. That creates a lot of complications and problems over time. And so yes, physiologically, crying literally creates chemicals in our body to soothe any physical and emotional pain. And also, it's not just that. When we are crying, we're utilizing an old system that we were born with, and it's basically us sending the message to our tribe that we need some care. I'm in pain, I'm sad, come and help me. So it's a cry for help, and that's how we have evolved to behave until people decided that crying was no longer something acceptable. But all of those emotions and states, they exist for a reason, from an evolutionary perspective. And we must really learn how to be more in touch with our original system. Pumpkin Puff. Hi Didi, how are you today? I see you're back in your normal spot. Yes, yes. Finally, I'm back on my feet, back in my office. I was back in the darkness again yesterday. I wasn't sure if I was going to make it through the day. All right, I'm sorry to hear. Do you want to talk about this? I've been to the gym this afternoon, but I drank so much water because of my gout. I'm going to go very quickly to the loo. Just bear with me. I'm back in 30 seconds. Okay, I'm back. Thank you for this. So yes, where was I? This is what happens when you go live. Pumpkin Puff. It just came from a lot of overwhelm, and I got triggered, so I had a BPD outburst, and then I felt a lot of shame for how I acted. Okay, so let's see next. But I did see your video you posted today, and that was interesting to see that right as I needed it. Fantastic. Yeah. So if you have any shame, realize that it's just an illusion. We've all been conditioned to have some level of shame. just cultural, and it's a poison. There's nothing good about shame at all. I want to realize that we can change any aspect of us at any time all throughout our lives. And so if there's something that we don't like about ourselves, we can change it. We don't need to carry something, some habit from the past like a burden. I've always been like that, I will always be like that. If there's nothing can change, it's not true. There's nothing that we cannot change. We can literally change anything. Pumpkin Puff, I also watched a lot of your videos yesterday to help challenge my thoughts. Thank you. Thank you. I hope that it helped. Amanda Hung Kiss, I was wondering your suggestions on how I can stop myself from crying so easily trying to tell my story to a therapist. Don't hold, don't cry. Therapy time is about letting go of any trapped energies, and so, you know, if you have some tears, it's actually quite healthy to cry in therapy. I can't seem to get through a session because I really can't stop crying. Let it out, let it out. It's you unloading all those things that you've held into for too long. Pumpkin Puff, I'm learning that I'm just reacting for my thoughts and expectations, which I know I shouldn't do. It's not what you shouldn't, we all do. We react to our own thoughts and expectations, and what we want to do is to upgrade the way we think and our list of expectations. This is what we want to do. But when we react to things, could be external or internal, it's absolutely normal. We have a program in place, and this is what the program does. The program is there to help us navigate through life without having to think about everything, without having to analyze everything, and so we're going to react, because that's the template, that's the program we put into place. We're to react to our environment, things we see, things we hear, people that we talk to, but also we're going to react to our own thoughts, emotion, physical sensations. And so whenever we react, we don't want to be unkind to ourselves. We don't want to tell ourselves, what's wrong with me? Instead, we want to realize, this is the program. And what I'm going to do is to realize that, okay, this happened, but I can change. And so we can work on ourselves before and after the moment, but not during the moment. So we must accept that when it happens, and it's okay. Because the next moment, we all have a chance, an opportunity to upgrade that program over a long period of time. I'm bugged because I need to change something. I'm going to take the mic off and do it without the mic because the battery doesn't charge, and I don't know how long it's going to last without the battery. So now we are back into the regular mic, I think. I apologize for the little technical bit. Just bear with me 1 second, please. The wonders of life. Okay. Just bear with. I'm a little bit all over the place today. I'm not sure why. Okay, can you guys hear me? Can you hear me well? If you can drop a comment just to make sure that the sound is okay now without the mic. So where was I? So yes, Pumpkin Puff, it's normal to react to bits and bobs. What we want to do is to address our belief, address the actual belief that exists for a reason, so that we can react in better ways in the future. John Hamilton, hello. Phoebe, hello. JJ East Coast Art, sacred space to express pain. Okay, I'm not sure what this is referring to. Odin, I struggle to be. I have strong bad habits. I feel very dysfunctional and very bad at prioritization. Not so good with discipline. Any insight? It could be so many different things, but the first thing that I would like to tell you is for you to learn how to be kind to yourself. I want you to realize that whatever is bugging you, whatever is limiting you, is nothing to do with your character. It's nothing to do with your personality. It's nothing to do with who you are as a person. Whichever way we think and feel and our behavior is all the result of our upbringing and our whatever happened to us in childhood, what we've been taught, what we observed from our parents. And so if you have a lot of strong bad habits, it's actually a good thing to realize that they're just bad habits. Because if a habit, it means that you can upgrade those habits, right? It's not something that is inherent in you that you cannot change. I feel very dysfunctional and very bad at prioritization. So I need to know more about you. Do you believe that you have some baggage from the past? There are two main reasons as to why people would find it difficult to prioritize things. One would be ADHD, and the other one would be trauma. A trauma brain is very similar to an ADHD brain as far as priorities are concerned. Because we are constantly on the lookout for some sort of danger, we need some emotional safety, and so because of that, we can't focus on that thing, and we find it difficult to think straight. So that could be the reason. Do you believe that you may have some unhealed trauma from the past, or maybe you could be on the ADHD spectrum? When we are very dysfunctional, in reality, the dysfunction is in regards to the expectations of society. We all function in different ways. And so if we could embrace and realize that people are different, and it's okay, then there will be a much better and kinder society for all. But the dysfunction you suffer from is your self-perception in regards to the expectations of society, the expectations of others. And that's why you need to be kind to yourself. There's nothing wrong about you. It's not that you can't function. It's that you cannot function as far as that system is concerned. So it's not your fault, society's fault. So we can talk about this, but you can realize that there are different ways to live a life, there are different ways to organize your life around, and maybe the most important aspect would be to realize your, I'm going to say limitation, but it's more like the type of brain that you have, and how you can create a life from scratch over a period of time that will support you, whatever condition you may have, as opposed to thinking, I'm dysfunctional. Very bad at prioritization. Yes, so when you are bad at prioritizing, it's not because you are stupid. It's not because we are lazy. It's not because we are broken or there's something wrong about us. It's about the fact that our brain is different. It's got different priorities. And all our priorities are emotional first. Before here comes, is there. We're emotions before we are cognitive. Not so good with discipline and insight. Yes, it all sounds like, again, ADHD or/and CPTSD. Odeon, thumbs up. Okay. Pumpkin Puff. I'm here, so I'd say it is. I don't know why I'm so mad all the time. Do I hold anger forever? How do we fully process anger? You let the anger out. So you can do some boxing on a punching bag, you can do some dancing on shakara, you can do some burpees, you can run, you can swim, you can do all sorts of things that physically allows you to let go of that energy, of that anger. You can shout and scream, I don't know, you can jump in an ice tub. You want to let out that energy. The energy of anger is there because it wants you to take an action. Is there to get you to focus on doing that thing that it thinks it's so important for you to do. So if you hold it inside, you're holding on to all that energy, and it's not going anywhere. It's just going to start to affect your organs. It's going to affect your sense of self, your level of happiness. Yeah. So find a way to release the anger in whichever way you can. Of course, as long as it's safe. right? You don't want to strangle your boss or something like that, or go at a customer if you're customer service and getting on your nerves. We're not talking about this, but it's about finding a way to release the frustration, speak out, express it. Typically, so a lot of studies have been done. People who release their anger actually feel better after that, and it's better for their health overall. Sadly, people on the receiving end is not good for their health. Yeah. But if you can find a way to let go of the anger without hurting anyone, now it's still something that will make a difference in your quality of life. If you hold everything inside, add it to the shame that we were talking about at the start of that live today, then we're going to really create more suffering for us to feel. Fear and shame are precisely the two things that create all sufferings in this world. And so if you're mad all the time, it's because you're holding your anger. You say, do I hold anger forever? Don't hold it. Find a way to let it out. Go in a room, close the door, shout, smash the cushion, something like that. Or do 100 burpees on the spot. Whatever it is, find ways to release the anger. JJ Coast Art, yes. Odeon, thumbs up. Pumpkin Puff, I'm also all over the place, but it's fine. Yes, it happens. Let's call ourselves freestyling today. AJ Smirks, hello. Pumpkin Puff, how do I change how I react? You go for therapy. Because all of your programs are very deeply embedded inside of you. Now it's something else that you can do because we don't have all access to therapy, but something that you can try is to, whenever you do something, whenever you react, you cannot prevent it, right? But you can upgrade your reactions over time. And so what you do, the next moment, you're going to tell yourself, this happened again. Oh, it sucks. So first you want to let go of the anger and go back into a state of mental clarity. Again, breathing exercise, sort of things. So when you are back into that place, then you can use what happened to you. You can use that reaction. What happened? My old self reacted because this is the program that I had up to this point. Now, what do I want to do in order to become the new self? You want to have a new thought, so that the new thought will create a new emotion, so that the new emotion will allow a new behavior. And we can do it right here, right now. And so, let's say, it's tricky. With BPD, that will be in conflict with someone else, right? More often than not. And so, can you give me an example about a reaction? And I can use it specifically for you. But essentially what you want to do is to ask yourself, okay, this is my old self. I'm not going to judge my old self. I'm not going to feel shame. I mean to practice self-compassion. I realize this is who I am up to this point because of everything that happened up to this point. So it's not my fault. It's no one's fault. It's just the way it is. However, I want to become a better self more and more so every day. So what do I need to do to become the new self? And since everything starts with a thought, we want to change our habits of thought first and foremost. Our habits of behavior are the result of how we feel and what we think. And so choose a better thought, upgrade, think, okay, I did that. Now I want to change the meaning of what triggered me so that the next time it doesn't affect me as bad. So I can give you an example. Let's say if someone says no to me, maybe I'm going to react and I'm going to feel hurt. And that's because the meaning that I have given to that no is rejection. I'm not good enough, or I'm invisible. No one loves me. No one cares about how I feel. But if I want to become a new, better self, I'm going to address my own thought, try to recognize what is the meaning, what is the thought that I had that got me to feel triggered and react. Maybe it's the belief that when they say no, it means I'm not good enough. So to change this, I'm going to change the meaning. When they say no, first I'm going to challenge that thought. Is it true? Is it empirically true? Can I demonstrate it tangibly with some examples that is absolutely true? No, it's not true. So if we can realize, no, it's not true, it's not useful, it's not kind, then we're going to change the meaning of it. From now on, I'm going to decide that when someone says no to me, it only means no. It doesn't have anything to do with my worth. It doesn't mean that I am not good enough. It doesn't mean that I need to react and do something about it. We don't say yes to everyone, and so it's okay for some people to sometimes say no to us without us taking it personally. Right? So change the meaning, and then remind yourself, okay, so next time, if it happens, I need to remind myself, no, doesn't mean that I'm not good enough. It means that I'm not interested. And it's okay. It's fair enough. It's not a big deal. And then the next time, when it happens again, we will still be triggered. But we'll feel maybe a little bit easier about it. So we have to do it again and again and again. And eventually, at some point, it will happen again. We're like, yeah, it's all right. It's not a big deal. So all of those things take practice and repetition. But this is pretty much the process to address our reactions, our habits of reactions. You want to change the meaning. You want to change the habit of thoughts. You want to basically focus on who do we want to become. The new self versus the old self. I was thinking about it today as a content for my next week long form video. So there you go. So does it help? Was it pumpkin puff? Yes. Odin, add habit as ADHD habit. What do you mean by add habit as ADHD habit? I don't understand. Pumpkin puff, do you think that working out is the best method for releasing emotions? It's not the best. It's a good method. We all have different ways to function, so it's not about the best. It's about the best for you. Find out what works best for you. So working out is one of the things that work for a lot of people, but some people don't like working out, so you have to come up with something else. Maybe you want to go for a walk in nature. Maybe you want to play some music and dance like no one is watching. Maybe you want to do some yoga, some stretches. There are a lot of things we can do. There's not one best thing. Again, as I was saying at some point in this live, nothing occurs because of one reason. Everything is the result of many things all happening at the same time and making that thing happen. And so it's never just this or that. So what it means is that there's not one single system in the world that fixes everything, that works for everyone. It's about finding out what works best for us at this point in time in our journey. Because even something that works for us may not last. It may work for us now, but maybe in a few weeks' time, something else better will come up. Does it answer your question, Pumpkin Puff? Odin, thank you. I feel much lighter after the insight you shared about whatever going on. It doesn't touch my character, okay? And that maybe I should start life from scratch in a way that suits me. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Find out the right people in your life first. Be with people who are supportive, who are kind, who have emotional intelligence, who can see you, as opposed to people who are trying to change you, to make you better. And also, find out what you really enjoy in life and go in that direction. It may not happen just like that, but if you can strategize something over a long period of time, you may be able at some point, and I wish this for you, to create some life that supports your conditions. Follow your dreams. Do things that excite you, that stimulate you positively, that you enjoy, that come to you naturally. Odin, I tried ADD. Okay, I thought. I now understand. It's not add. It's ADD. So ADD it's one of the type of ADHD. In the past there was ADD and ADHD. Now ADHD encompasses everything, but you have different type of ADHD. So you have the one only with the attention deficit, and the one with the hyperactivity, and the one with both. That's three of them. I tried ADD medicines, and sometimes they work, and sometimes they're quite painful in a way, and yet can't keep the prioritization because they are forcing you to be normal. Don't do this. Instead, follow your thing. If you have ADHD or ADD, and this is the thing. When we have, I'm going to call it ADHD. When you have ADHD, one of the symptom that is that everyone with ADHD has is that we will find it very difficult, if not impossible, to do things that we don't want to do. However, unless we are under pressure and it's a matter of life and death, now we're going to have a focus. But it's not a good energy, it's the energy of survival. Now, the positive side of this is that what we love, we can do it a lot. We can hyperfixate and we can obsess over things. And this is what I do myself with my own ADHD. If you can realize that if you do things that you love, this is how you fix your problem. Instead of trying to fit in and do something that you don't enjoy because other people tell you to do so, find something that comes to you naturally, and then your life is going to be a ball, because at some point, since you're obsessed about the thing, you will have no other choice but to become very good at it. And people will queue for your services eventually. And so everything's going to come into place. But it's important to learn how to be authentic and be who we were meant to be, as opposed to trying to fit in and be normal. Normal is a myth, and it hurts so many of us. Odin, so now I try and do without medicine and go through the resistance to whatever activity I'm struggling to do. Okay, so I hope that you heard what I said. Let go of the resistance. Go with your flow instead. Me and Cell. How can a person raise self-esteem if they have dealt with sexual and psychological abuse at the age of 4? It takes some work and some time. It's a journey. Some of us have been really damaged at a very young age, and whatever we reinforce over time, including our self-perception, will take more time to be undone. But it's possible. And so if you have been abused, I would address this with therapy. If you can have some access to some form of therapy, the different type of therapy, but find the right person for you with the right system, but we will really make a difference. Self-esteem is the result of how we feel about ourselves. So it's not a thing that we can get and incorporate on the top of us. It's the result is the reflection of how we feel about ourselves. And so in order to address our self-esteem, we must address how we perceive ourselves. So therapy is one of them. There are different ways to do this. It's not just therapy, but you want to essentially find a way to learn how to see yourself under a better light, and to learn how to love yourself again. You want to realize that whatever happened to you as a child was never your fault. Whatever happened to you was because of the adults. But this is the thing, when we're a child, our brain is not fully developed yet. We're developing. We're going through our developmental years. And so what it means is that we don't have any perspective. We only have our vantage point as a child. So what it means is that everything is about us. As a child, we take everything personally, and we believe that everything is because of me, including the bad stuff. And so what we want to do is to tell that child inside of us, it's okay to feel like that, it's okay to believe that it was your fault, but it was never your fault. It was because of the adults who didn't know any better, or some of them were even evil, were horrible. And so whatever the reason it is, it's never because of you. That's the first thing. You want to let go of the idea that there's something wrong about you. As children, we're all the victims of our environment and our upbringing. We don't choose it. And the first thing about healing is to realize this. We didn't choose this. It's not our fault. It was never anyone's fault. And now that you're an adult, you can start to talk to that child inside of you and tell it, it's okay to feel like that. I'm here now. I'm in charge. I'm the adult. I'm the grown-up. And I'm going to make sure that we are safe now. And I want you to know that it was their fault, not yours. So again, it's a big process, and it's different for everyone. And so for those who are new, if you can give me some specific questions, that'd be helpful. Otherwise, this is the sort of generic answer that I would say in regard to self-esteem. Self-esteem when it comes to abuse, yeah, let me try to think about a different way to say it. Yes, we believe that there's something wrong about us. And so see yourself from the position of the adult and talk to your inner child and try to explain it what you see from the position of the adults. When you're emotional, in that moment, you are the child again. But if you can be in a place of peace and mental clarity, then you can operate from here and talk to your heart. But again, I understand that if you have suffered from a young age, and I don't know how old you are, we have to unpack a lot of things because things may have developed in myriads of different ways. So again, if you can give me more details, it will be helpful. Odin, things is I had this pattern of wanting to feel like doing the activity rather than just doing it and grinding through it. Try. So this is ADHD. We get excited by new stuff. We have some little dopamine boost, and then we give up because it's boring right after. Try this and that and that and that and that until eventually there's something that you stick to. Simple. You're describing ADHD here. Textbook. We like the idea of something because it's new and it's exciting, and after we tried it, we move on to the next thing. And so try different things, and eventually you have a better idea of the things that are really, really connected to your inner natural talent and preference. Pumpkin puff. Example can be talking to my husband, doesn't respond, ask if he heard me, and he said he did, but doesn't think he needs to respond. That normally makes me feel ignored and bothers me. Okay. Then my brain goes down on a whole path, and he will say, I'm sorry you feel that way, or that he's sorry my thoughts are the way that they are. It makes me feel like I'm being irrational for feeling sad. Okay, so there's a part of your husband, he needs to do something about it. He needs to learn how to speak to you better because you have BPD. So you will be hypersensitive. He needs to understand that you have a condition, it's serious, and you suffer from this. You don't choose to be hypersensitive, but you are hypersensitive. So he needs to learn how to be kinder. He needs to stop telling you that I'm sorry you feel that way. This is gaslighting. It's actually, I'm sure it doesn't mean that. A lot of people don't realize that we're gaslighting others, but it's actually quite mean. I'm sorry that you feel like that. It's your problem. I'm sorry that you are fucked up. Pardon my French. I'm sorry that you have BPD. This doesn't help. If you have BPD, we need to be seen. We need to feel that we are important. And so what you should be learning to say instead is, I'm sorry that what I said hurt you. Now, if your husband is on the autism spectrum, it's going to make things more complicated because he may not be able to say all sort of things. You know, some people who have suffered from trauma and have autism find it very difficult to accept that they are wrong in any way because it's not safe for them. But provided he's not like that, if he's like that, we can talk about it. But he needs to basically learn how to speak to you in a kinder way. He needs to realize that you are not like normal people. And so if he cares about your feelings, he needs to make an effort and understand that you are going to take things personally. You will. Right? You need to meet in between. So it's not just him, it's not just you, it's never. When it comes to relationship, it's always 50-50. It takes two to tango, right? So I'm sorry you feel that way. It's actually, people don't realize this, but it's very nasty. And it's very hurtful for people who have BPD. He's sorry my thoughts are the way they are. Same thing, you know, it's on you. What's wrong with you? I'm sorry that your thoughts are like that. It's not good enough. This is terrible. But then again, I'm sure that he doesn't mean this. And so he needs to learn about emotional intelligence. Otherwise, he will be hurting you. If he knows it and he still doesn't change, it means that he is choosing to hurt you. So there you go. It makes me feel like I'm being irrational for feeling sad. You're not. You have BPD. So this is how you would react. So you want to learn how to change the meaning from your end of the equation, right? Again, it takes two to tango. So you need to both work on it. He needs to be kinder and more diplomatic in the way he talks to you. And you need to learn how to change the meaning quicker, faster, more often, so that you no longer get as triggered over time. Pumpkin puff. Yes, what you said before was helpful. Sorry, I type slow. Stories. We came up with something else. Odin, referring to the earlier conversation on that I have ADD, Was just clarifying that I meant ADHD by ADD earlier. Yes, now I can understand this. You already elaborated on that. Thank you. Thank you, Odin. So if you have ADHD, your problem is not that you must learn how to prioritize. You have ADHD. You must accept that you have your limitations. However, you also have some qualities. So it's about optimizing the sort of brain that you have. Kusanagi 64. I've done CBT and worked to recognize my negative thought patterns. My panic has become way less over the past 10 years. Good on you. I still have a huge break when being confronted. I can for my kids, not myself. I still have a huge break when being confronted. I don't get that bit. Could you clarify this for me, please? Pumpkin Puff. I just feel like I break everything I try to build, whether it's within myself or my relationship. This is what you believe about yourself. This is why BPD can be so corrosive and horrible. Because we blame ourselves for everything. And people also blame us. Like everyone agrees, it's because of us. And this is the worst thing we can do. Again, talking about shame. And so you want to really remind yourself, you don't break things. You have patterns of behaviors inherited from trauma in childhood, but you have never chosen. It's not you. It's not your fault. Anyone in your shoes would be the same. Anyone who went through what you've been through will react the same way. Anyone who had anything that happened to you would be perceived as bad by everyone against them wanting to be like that. No. So no, you don't break everything. No, you do break everything, but it's not your fault. And you can work on that, and provided you surround with yourself with people who are supporting you, things will get better and better. Stevie Rance, how can you process the fact your partner has bad-mouthed you to his parents, but it was lies he told them to gain sympathy, and now I feel like my character and relationship is being attacked? Change your partner. It's really simple. Why would you stay with someone like that? Why would you stay with someone who is bad-mouthing you on their parents for whatever reasons to gain sympathy? That would be my response to you. We do a lot of things out of habit. We believe that this is what people do and we want them to change. But what we want to really realize is that we are inviting situations in our lives because it's a big world out there. There are zillions of us. Why do we stick with some people who are behaving like that? The moment we start to change, put ourselves first and say, okay, I don't need that. I deserve better. Now we start to attract better people in our lives. How can you process the fact your partner has... Yes. Did you tell your partner? Did you do something about it? Odin, which kind of therapy wins? The one that goes through somatic without necessarily fishing for memories, or try and find traumatic memories and work on it with the mind and somatics? So again, it depends. The answer to all questions, there's one universal answer, and this is it. It depends. I understand where you're coming from. We have been all conditioned to believe that there is a magic pill, there is something that is better than others, but there's none. We're all very different. It's about finding what works for you. But Odin, maybe I didn't mention to you before. So there you go. We're all different. It's about finding the right system with the right person. You need to connect with that person emotionally at the right time in your life, and that will do the job. And what I always say is this: there's not one system that works for everyone. It doesn't exist, and it will probably never exist. There's, however, at least one system that will work for you at your stage in your journey. And it's for you to find out what it is. Hannah, hello, Odin. Thank you, Odin. Pumpkin Puff, I'm so happy that you understand that saying, I'm sorry you feel that way, can be so triggering. You've been trying to explain that. I've been trying to explain that, but my emotions get in the way. Okay. So find a way to explain it when you are calm. If you are all over the place, people will not listen to you. Because at that moment you are irrational, you are all over the place, you're overwhelming for them as well. And they have their own ways to deal with a sort of energy. And so if it's by dismissing you or being angry at you, it's not going to help out. So very importantly, when you talk to them, first, find a way to regulate your nervous system, to bring yourself back to a state of homeostasis. And then, okay, what happened 5 minutes ago? Can we sit down? I would like to talk to you about it. And then calmly tell them, you know what? I don't have a beef against you, but I want you to understand. I suffer. I was wrecked. And I'm learning how to heal, and I need you to help me. So please learn how to speak to me, to be kind. We can meet in between. I know that it's not, I am also very fragile. Tell him I am hypersensitive, and I'm working on it. But I need you to help me as well. 50-50. Me and say, do things for others before myself at my expense. Okay, have a hard time when I'm criticized because I'm already critical, keep emotions at bay. So if you do things for others before yourself, you are a people pleaser, right? It means that it's the system that you have developed in childhood to either stay safe from whatever was happening to you, or to be seen, to feel that you belonged and that you are not on your own, that you didn't have to survive on your own. And because of that, you have developed a habit that you have not upgraded, and this is what we call people pleasing. When we're on a survival mode, there are 5 F. Fight, flight, freeze, phone, and flop. Phone is number 4, is people pleasing. Is to please and appease and pacify a threat in the hope that it will not hurt us anymore. And / or to be seen, to be loved, to be accepted. Because unless we do certain things, unless we behave in a certain way, we are not enough for our parents, for instance. When our parents say things like, make us proud, do us proud, in that moment we believe that we are not deserving of unconditional love. We can only be loved when we perform, when we do certain things. And so, phoning, people pleasing, putting others in front of us is this. It's something that we do to regulate our nervous system. I have a hard time when I'm criticized because I'm already critical, keep emotions at bay. Okay, so now I have an idea about your profile, me and Cell. Now, if you have a question, now that I know more about you, we can address your question. Pumpkin Puff. Yes, we believe he's on a spectrum of some kind. He's very sweet and doesn't mean harm, but it does trigger sometimes thinking that he's being helpful. So you need to find out. I'm into that scenario myself. Again, I've got BPD, borderline, ADHD, and CPTSD, and my husband has autism. And so this is why I'm so well versed into the situations. Sometimes he would really drive me mad, and I would drive him mad. But it's about learning that it takes 2 to tango. And the first step, just bear with me, please. My watch is telling me that I should put my third TikTok post of the day out, so I'm going to do it right around now. Just bear with me, please. Don't believe that you're hard to love, because some people did a great post.
There is a rumor that has been going.
Okay, so he's out. So yes, when it comes to relationship, it's very important to realize that the reason why there's so much problems in relationships is because we believe that it's because of the other one. So I believe that it's because of my husband, and he believes that it's because of me. And the way we fix this is by realizing it's never their fault. It's never our fault either. It's the fault of the two of us miscommunicating. It's us not speaking the same language, not seeing the same thing, not experiencing the same emotion, not having the same thought, the same meaning about the situation. And so we're just projecting ourselves, and we forget that there are 2 people in a room. And so in order to fix things, we must meet in between. And so again, the thing that I always tell people in a relationship, and it's something that I apply myself every day, is to remind myself that problem, that situation, is not because of him, it's not because of me. It's because of us. So we need to find out together how we can ameliorate the communication and make sure that we're on the same wavelength. Very often the problem is that we perceive something in such a way and they perceive something in a different way. So now there's a clash. We're not sharing the same reality in that moment. And it's no one's fault. It's again because there's a discrepancy. Lux Front, what is RTT? RTT is the system that I use with my clients in my practice. It stands for Rapid Transformational Therapy. It's a blend of hypnosis, regression, and belief reframing at a subconscious level. So yeah, if you want me to talk more about it, ask me, give me a case, and I can explain how I would use it for that specific case. Kusanagi, brake, hitting the brakes. My thought patterns stops when I'm being confronted, as if I had trauma. Overacting and I become quiet. When I do confront back to protect others, I go overboard, I have anxiety. Okay, so basically when you want to express yourself, you have a break and you can't. And then eventually when you can, it's too much. So if I was using RTT for that sort of situation, it would go back into the memories of the past and find out what happened to you in childhood for you to have created that system that is holding you back to protect you from something. And as we change that from the subconscious mind, eventually things will start to be clearer and easier in the future. We address problems from the subconscious mind. Let me think about what I could tell you without the RTT, because I like it. Hitting the brakes. My thought pattern stops when I'm confronted. So whatever systems, again, whatever thing that you're experiencing are systems that you have put into place to protect yourself in some ways and capacities back then. And so probably when you were younger, maybe there were instances where you wanted to express yourself and you've been punished because of that. And so now there's a part of you that's thinking, you really want to say something, but it's going to create troubles. So it's holding you back because of that. Is it something that you can relate to? But then eventually, as you are holding it, at some point it's going to come out, because again, emotions are energies and they're meant to be processed. They can't be trapped, they can't be controlled. And so eventually it will come out, and this is what you say, I go overboard. And so my solution to you would be for you to learn about emotional intelligence. Learn how to reconnect with your body, learn how to feel your emotions, learn how to give them a definition, a name, learn how to reconnect with your emotions and accept all of them for what they are. They're all parts of you, and they all matter, they're all valid. We don't want to repress emotions, we don't want to prioritize some emotions for others. So yes, learning about emotional intelligence would be my suggestion to you, Kusanagi. And as you do that, then you'll be able to have a better relationship with your emotions. And you won't be able to hold everything inside. You'll be able to let go of that anger when it happens. It doesn't have to be nuclear. It can be a little bit of that, but still something. And eventually you will know and learn the difference between healthy anger and unhealthy anger. Healthy anger is when we need to express ourselves because something is important and we need to make sure that that person knows that it's important to us. Unhealthy anger is what you're experiencing when you're holding it inside, and eventually you can't hold it anymore and it goes overboard. Pumpkin Puff, thank you, Didi. Thank you. Anna, is there a way to contact you for a private case? Yes. If you go on my profile on YouTube, there's a link to my website. And so from the website, you can send me an email and we can organize a free discovery call. I work on Zoom, so yeah. Thank you for the question. Pumpkin Puff, it's hard with me trying to heal myself, but also my husband has to learn how to help me in a way that is actually seen as help and not making me feel worse. Yeah, it's hard. But you know what? Everything is hard when it's different and new. And so what you want to do is to get started and address things one baby step at a time. And eventually, over time, things will become easier and easier. Right? This is why I always say, everything is hard when it's new and different. However, everything becomes easier by virtue of repetition. And so we need to focus on little baby steps. We don't have to, we don't want to be fully healed, 100% right away. It's never going to happen. It's a journey, it's a process, and so we must be kind to ourselves and appreciate that it does take time to undo habits of a lifetime. And if we multiply it by 2, because in a relationship there are 2 people, now it's double trouble. But it's possible. Pumpkin Puff, I agree with what you said. I will try to wait for the storm to pass before trying to explain my pain while I'm still in an emotional state. Yes. Yeah. Me and Say, thanks for the insight. Thank you, Me and Say. Oops. Me and Sell. Pumpkin Puff. I also agree with the blaming the other for the problem. I know that I'm not easy to deal with, but sometimes he's not either, and it feels like talking to a wall. Yes, yes. So if he's on the spectrum, that'll be the case. So if he's on the spectrum, you need to know that he's like that as well. So you need to both be humble and realize, this is me. So with me and my husband, for instance, I know that I can be hypersensitive at times. We've been together for 21 years, so we have a lot of habits to unpack as well. And he knows that he can be stubborn. He knows that he can be oblivious to certain things. He knows that he can be rude and cruel. He never means it, but he can come across as very, very bloody horrible at times, and that's because of the way he is. And so you need to both know about each other and be humble and be honest and do your best. Okay, it didn't work this time, let's do our best the next time. Pumpkin Puff, do I need to work on patience to not react or work more on calming down first when I feel triggered? You don't work on calming down. You want to express yourself, let go of the anger. That's what you want to do in a safe way. And then do some breathing exercise, go for a walk around the block, come back, and eventually now you'll be all right. We can't work on patience. The only way we work on patience is like trying to control our emotions. We can only repress ourselves, and by repressing things, we're only making things worse. You can't calm down either, unless you are not in a bad place. For people who are easy to calm down, it's just a little irritation. If you are full rage mode, you can't calm down. Saying someone to calm down is the worst thing you can tell someone who's going through an episode of rage. What you can do is to let go of that energy, walk around the block, do some breathing exercise, and then, now it's gone, I'm back to normal. Now I can think clearly, I can see clearly, I can talk. I can change the meaning of what happened. Pumpkin Puff, sorry I'm typing so much, you have been very helpful. Don't be sorry, stop being sorry with me. It's good, it's all good. I appreciate your interactions, and I'm happy to answer as many questions as you have. Eva Green, thank you for all you have contributed to my life. All right, fantastic. Thank you, Eva. I didn't know that I contributed for life, but if I have, I'm very happy with this. Thank you so much. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. And I know that it's going to sound weird, but I'm going to have to go to the loo a second time. I'm so sorry. I drank 2 big bottles of water in the afternoon. I thought that my bladder was empty by now, but I've got to go very quickly. Just bear with me, please. I'm getting back straight away. Sorry about that. I've counted 2.5 hours after the gym to not drink any water at all, and I thought that I would have emptied my bladder by then. But I like to believe now that I have the bladder of a camel or something like that. Anyway, I'm back. Pumpkin puff. Oh, okay. You're explaining everything about your exercise. With BPD, it makes me feel more normal. Thank you. We're all normal. The only way we're not normal is when we compare ourselves to a standard that was, how do you say, that people just came up with. Normal. To be normal means to be able to function in a society the way that society is designed like. So basically, if we can function in a capitalist society, then we are normal. If we can't, then we are not normal. That's pretty much what it's down to. So yes, if you want to feel more normal, hang out with more people who have conditions to deal with, and you realize that in reality, I believe that the vast majority of us have some hidden, secret, invisible problems. Eva Green, I share your videos with my friends and family as well. Fantastic, thank you, Eva. Phoenix said hi. Hello, Phoenix. Pat O'Sullivan, don't forget to switch off the mic when in the loo. Yeah, I took it off. So yeah, I didn't think about it. Is it the Naked Gun? Many movies have done that. Yes. Thank you, Pat. Pumpkin puff. I mean experience, but autocorrect is against me. Your experience with BPD, yeah. Well, you're not alone. So many of us have undiagnosed issues. And this is why we really want to raise more awareness about mental health. Not only for the new generation, but also people who are before us, who may have spent a whole lifetime suffering from their conditions, believing that they were bad, there's something bad about them, as opposed to understanding that they had a condition. In therapy, I see, for my practice, I see this every day. A lot of my clients, as we go into the memories of their past through hypnosis, we confront their parents, people who have created hurt and trauma. And after that, we realize that we all are carrying the baggage from our parents and their parents before them. So yeah, a lot of things that happened, a lot of suffering was because of ignorance, because the people didn't know about mental health. But now things are getting better, and there's still a lot of work to do, but it's really about understanding that we are all doing our best, no matter what start we had in life, and nothing is ever anyone's fault. We're all the continuation of a story, of a saga that started many generations before us. And it's our job to stop the curse. And that's how we make this world a better place for all in the future. Pumpkin puff. I have noticed anytime I tell people I have BPD, people are always so surprised. I'm even telling them like it's something I should keep a secret. I'd say you don't have to keep it a secret, but you don't need to talk about it too much either. Talk about it if you feel that it's relevant to the conversation. But some people can, a lot of people don't understand this. And a lot of people, we find it actually very uncomfortable. I've met one of my cousins that I haven't seen in years, a few days ago. And I was talking about mental health and my own journey. And I realized that it was making them very uncomfortable. I'm so used to that because this is what I talk about all the time to anyone. But for a lot of people, it's a taboo subject, and they know that there are some things, but they don't want to necessarily face it, or maybe some people from their own family. And so, yeah, it's not necessarily something that everyone wants to talk about all the time. However, if you feel that it's important for you to talk about it, then to talk about it. I'm coming to the end of the thread for now. So I'm going to stay here for as long as there are questions flowing up till 8 p.m. But if it's quiet, as it happens, I'm also happy to resume doing other stuff. So keep me busy if you can, please. Pumpkin puff. That's fair. Some people think it makes you a bad person, or it's a sad subject. I get that. Yeah. It's about reading the room and finding out what sort of atmosphere, what sort of energy there is in this moment, and dances with bees. I was diagnosed with borderline personality, amongst other things, at 16, now 48. Wow, what a ride. I never kept up on the meds, just knew there was a better way. Yes, we don't need medications. To some people it can be helpful in some capacities for some certain amount of time, but I don't believe that borderline personality disorder should be fixed with medications. Maybe we can help some people. But BPD is a personality disorder, and so we can address this by addressing a sense of self. It doesn't have to be through the use of chemicals. Even bipolar, that is a mood disorder, I was diagnosed with this in my 20s, and I never taken any medication, and I've been through a lot of terrible place, but I no longer have any of the symptoms anymore. Or it's very little. It doesn't affect my life anymore. Yeah. The main triggers are out of the way. And there are still some aspects that will remain, and we can virtually change everything over a long period of time, but we don't need to change everything about ourselves either. It's really about addressing the main problematic triggers. The reason I'm saying this is because with my bipolar, with the bipolar that I had in the past, obviously I had the hypomanic episodes and also the long bouts of depression, and this is gone. However, I know that I can get into some state, and I have suffered from that in different ways. And the thing that comes to my mind is my training with my gym. I've been training a lot, and I never realized that I go into some hypomanic state similar to hypomania, but just through the training. And that gets me to basically have superhuman strength. And I train a lot, too much, and I hurt myself all the time. And so basically, I've only started to change my training program in the last, I don't know, few months. It took me a lot of time to process that and to realize this. But whenever I was going to the gym and I took some caffeine, some supplements, then I will go into a stage where for 5 hours I will be lifting crazy weight. And I've been injured for more than 15 years. Every single joint, every muscle I hurt. And that's because I get into a state and I can do amazing stuff. But I pay for that. I destroy my joints, and I hate myself. I have cramps every night. I mean, I used to. Now I've been working on that for a while. But basically, this is how my bipolar still affected me somehow in my life. And I had to learn how to connect the dots. So it's not as pronounced as hypomanic episode, but it's very similar. I get to those zones where we don't feel anything, we don't care about anything, and then we always regret it afterward. Pumpkin puff. It's normally busy during this time. I'm surprised. There could be something to do with the algorithm. I think YouTube works in mysterious ways. But I'm okay with that. I do my best, and whatever happens, I believe that my best is always good enough. Pumpkin puff. Can BPD be passed down? Yes, but it's not passed down, I think. I don't know. I know there's a history. If you have someone with a condition, you will be more likely to have it. But we haven't not determined yet to which extent it is to do with genetics versus behavior. And so my mum has BPD as well. But I believe that I believe that with everything, there's always some element, some component of genetics and behavior. However, I believe that the genetic is very minimal compared to the actual experience that we have with people. So basically, if someone has BPD, the way you're going to grow up with them, the way they're going to affect you with their condition is going to be much more a factor of how it's going to affect you. It's like with ADHD. There's this big debate started from Gabor Mate, saying how there's no such thing as an ADHD gene. There's, however, a propensity to get it, a hypersensitivity, something to do with the genes, but it's not a gene. And what would trigger that hypersensitivity, that propensity, will be the environment. And so the environment is always the greater cause. But typically, people who have conditions like BPD will be people who grow up with people who have it as parents, will have a bigger propensity to have it as well. But also, a lot of people have BPD, even though there's no parents who are not suffering from that. Borderline personality disorder can be born from trauma. Dances with bees, now finding a spiritual way. Okay, we can talk about spiritual as well if you want. Spirituality is a great way for many of us to address the unanswered questions and find some sort of peace. K. Moores. Hi Didi. Hello, K. Moores. I'm gonna have a sip of tea and I'm waiting for the next comment. And again, if I don't get any comments within 5 minutes, I will gently leave and come back some other time. For those who don't know me, I come here twice a week, every Wednesdays and Fridays from 6 p.m. UK time up till 8 p.m. if there's enough engagement. And so if you enjoy this, do subscribe. If you believe that any of your friends could benefit from that, get them involved. And also check out my videos. I put one long form content every week. The latest one was today, and it's entitled Toxic Shame. And I talk about the difference between shame and guilt. It's very important as far as self-awareness and healing is concerned. So do check this out and let me know what you think of it. If you can, please. Dances with Peace. For the last year, I have been clearing with release of old ways and feelings, understanding what BPD is, never completely unexplained, has helped so much. Okay. Yeah, BPD is the idea that we are living in a very hostile world, and we must always look after ourselves. And everything is in black and white. And so there are good people and bad people. And we're also obsessed with being seen and being loved. One aspect of BPD that was my biggest problem, but no one talks about, is how we take everything personally. Pumpkin Puff. I just wondered, my father was a yeller, so as an adult, I wonder if he was just having BPD rage. Maybe. Or maybe other stuff. Maybe he had ADHD. ADHD rage is a thing as well. Maybe he had autism. Maybe he had some PTSD or CPTSD. Maybe he had some all sorts of different conditions, OCD. There could be all sorts of reasons as to why people get angry. Whenever we're overwhelmed, anger is just an energy that is there to get us to take an action. And so if you don't have the ability, if it's the only coping mechanism that we know, then that will be what we do. It's a tradition, it's a culture, anger. Instead of finding a rational answer to that situation, we get to just react with anger. And yes, we're learning how to be better human beings now by understanding all of those things more and more now. But there's all sorts of reasons as to why your father was a yeller. Maybe he was deaf. He couldn't hear himself. I don't know. There could be so many reasons. www.vintagemermaid.com said hi. Hello, Vintage Mermaid. Pumpkin Puff. Oh, I didn't know there was ADHD rage. Is that from overwhelm? It's a type of overwhelm. But let's say I have that rage every now and then. Sometimes I want to focus on something, and my attention is taken because of the noise, and that can drive me nuts. Really, really, really badly. And so that's one of the way ADHD rage can express itself. So yeah, when I'm trying to think, and there's some noise, there's a part of me that is thinking, everyone is trying to sabotage my thought process, preventing me from doing that thing. And I know that it's not true, but that's the sort of things that are happening in my mind, and I would get angry. When my husband is around and he's happy and he's whistling, that drives me crazy. When he's whistling, it's like I'm trying to watch television and suddenly because it's taking my mind away. And so I have learned how to calm myself down, and either move in a different room or put some earmuff, but stop trying to react against him. Or against when I was doing videos, and when I first started that channel, and there would be some noise outside, helicopters, sirens, people in the street shouting, that would also make me angry. Leave me alone, I can't think straight. That's why I believe that I'm happy that I never had children. I would have been a very lousy dad. I would have been terribly reactive and impatient and intolerant, not because I want to, but just because I'm reacting, because my brain can't focus. For a long, long time, I would get upset at my husband just breathing. Him breathing. Sometimes he breathes quite slowly because his nose can be blocked, and that would make me angry. Then I realized, gosh, I'm angry at him breathing. It's terrible. But this is what ADHD rage does to some of us. Pumpkin Puff. I wish he was deaf and that was the reason. Oh, well. Pumpkin Puff. Oh, that makes a lot of sense actually. So when you can't focus or lose focus, yes. There's a part of me that believes, I don't know that's, again, it's stupid, but there's a part of me that believes that people are doing it on purpose to try to sabotage my thought process. Christina Kapinen. Hello. DJ McLovin. Hi, thank you for everything you do. I'm wondering, is there a way to help or maybe gently guide someone towards the practice of self-awareness so then they can help themselves in a way no one else can? It's a personal journey, so it happens when we are ready. You can talk to people about your own journey, and that could be enough to inspire some people to follow your journey, your direction at least. Sometimes this is what happens. We meet different people and we're inspired by them. But you can't force someone to have self-awareness because we all have different priorities and we're all limited by our emotional state first and foremost. And so it's not about what we think, it's about how we feel. If you're in a state of survival, if you have some priorities, this is the list of our worries. We need to address feeling safe first and foremost. And so for anyone who is going through a lot, if you want to help them, be kind to them and show them how you do it, but don't try to change them. Self-awareness, again, it's something that happens. It's a happening. You can't force self-awareness on others. You can show them your awareness of yourself, but not of themselves. This is for them to do. This is their job. No one else can do it for them. And so self-awareness, generally speaking, when we are surrounded by people who are on their own journey, then we're going to expand our mind. People are going to talk about some books, some thoughts they have, some habits they change, some things that happen to them, and that will allow them to eventually pick up some stuff and go and get started on their own awareness, self-awareness journey. The best way to guide someone is to just show them how you do it for yourself. And hopefully they'll be ready for that, and if not, it's also okay. Dances with Bees, thank you so much for your time and passion to help others. Overreaction is one of my biggest problems, learning to pause and breathe first. Okay. So it's different for everyone, but what I'd like to say is when we react, when we're overreacting, we want to realize why we overreact, as opposed to just. I'm not just saying. I'm not saying that you are doing just that, but some people, they just try to breathe and control, as opposed to understand. When we understand, it's much easier to bring the breathing and to not be affected by our environment anymore. One of the best things we can tell ourselves is that if you want to change, we want to realize that we're responding to the outside because of a program that exists inside of us. And so instead of thinking, what's wrong with them? What's wrong with him, with her? Oh, why is the world so terrible? We should be thinking and saying to ourselves, why am I reacting like that? Why am I thinking that? Why am I feeling so bad about it? Some other people, they may share the same experience and they have no problem with that, but not me. Why? So now we can look in the right place and we can upgrade our perspective of the world. Because the problem was never the world. Everything about our reality is down to our perception of it. And so it's about shifting our paradigm so that we can experience an aspect of that reality that is slightly better for us. And as we do this over time, we are altering our reality. Pumpkin Puff, thank you for sharing. That actually helps me with my husband. He doesn't get mad, but snippy if you break his focus. Yes. Yes. So that can be also with people who are on the autism spectrum. Pumpkin Puff, I get mad if you chew gum too close to my ear. So there you go. So it's interesting to learn. Yes. Misophonia as well. So it's a different thing. For some of us, the sound of something can be problematic. I don't have misophonia. For me, it's any noise that distracts my focus. Christina Kapinan, DJ McLovin, I wish someone had tried to guide me there. I'm over 40 and I'm just now realizing how different of a life I could have had, but I just didn't know how to gain that consciousness. So I want you to know, Christina, that this is your life. You cannot regret anything because this is the life you were meant to have. We like to believe that, I wish that I knew that before so that I would have had a better life. But that will kind of go against the whole point of us living our lives. This is the life we had, and what matters is what we're doing now with what we have, as opposed to wishing for a better past. And again, I understand that it's human. I used to be the same like everyone. But now I've really accepted that. This is what I'm trying to share here. Everything that happens to us happens for a reason. It does happen for a reason. And the reason is that is there to show us about the whole spectrum of our human experience. And so if we had it easy, then we wouldn't have been through all of those aspects of our humanity. And everything is valid as far as our experience is concerned. We like to compare things from the perspective of the ego. My life is not good enough. I should have been more successful. I should have been more loved. I should have done this. I should have done that. And it's just the ego speaking. If you can accept that the whole of our experience is what it is and it's good. There's good, there's bad. Good and bad is part of the yin yang, of the foundations of reality. And so we must appreciate the whole of it. And now we can do something about it, knowing everything that we have been through. But we don't want to fantasize on trying to change the past, because as long as we're doing this, we're still telling ourselves, I hate my life, I hate me, I hate my past, it's not good enough. Instead of learning how to practice gratitude and learning how to find the little gems of goodness. And as we do this more and more so, eventually we will be in a position to accept. But indeed, everything happens for a reason, including all the horrible stuff, the uncomfortable feelings, the bad situations. They're all part of the story, and we are the story. And so it's all part of it. For some of us, it takes all of those decades of being in the dark to find the light. But when we find it, it's even better. If you find the light from the beginning, you have no value of what it is. This is what I often say. In order to find ourselves, we must first know ourselves. There you go. Sophia Ann, my family says everyone is one in the whole world. We're all connected. Okay, I agree. Yet they always ghost me, and I have not been invited to any family gathering for 2 decades. I read that before. Did you speak to me last week? Did you say the same thing last week? Was it someone else? Is it a coincidence? So regardless of whatever your family says, it doesn't matter. If their behavior is like that, forget about what they say. What they say is just words. It doesn't have any weight on you because they're not behaving accordingly. They're not walking the walk, right? If they ghost you and they haven't invited you to family gathering, focus on your new family, focus on your new tribe. Find people with whom it's natural and easy to connect with and just be yourself. Forget about them. They don't matter. It's a big world out there. Sometimes we are lucky and we grew up in a family where we are connected to them at an emotional level. And some of the time, it's not the case. And it's also okay because there are plenty of people out there. Okay, Sophia Ann? Christina, I mean, I was a hypocritical idiot. All right. Well, we all are what we are because of whatever happened to us. I used to be a horrible person myself. I used to be hypocritical. I used to be stupid. I used to be nasty. I used to be violent, aggressive, toxic. But we never choose those things. We are any of those things and more because of our upbringing. Again, we don't know what we don't know. We only know what we know. And we're doing our best with whatever we've been given at the start of our life. And so be kind to yourself. Whatever you were was not because of your character, it was because of XYZ, like all of us. And learning how to appreciate this is how we start our healing journey. I saw some little hearts. I hope that it was from you, Christina. Dances with bees, perfect. Thank you. Grace Camargo, I agree. Thank you, Grace. Latonia Boys, Yin Yang, and Little Sparkles. Christina, yes, better late than never. But I could have been so much better for my loved ones. But this is the thing. Could have, should have, would have. This is your journey, this is their journey. They will learn from that, they will grow from that as well. We all do. And we all have we're all supported and we all have to go through things and we're all basically teaching one another. Sometimes we're teaching good lessons, sometimes we're teaching hard lessons. But if you can realize that everything is a lesson and it goes both ways, then things start to become much lighter and easier and kinder. They're now getting me when it became clear I didn't know how to better myself. Okay, so everything is coming together, right? I hope so. I wish that for you, Christina. If you want to tell me more about yourself, do, please. Grace, yes, thank you, Grace. Pumpkin Puff. Thank you, Didi, for your insight. I always learn so much from you. Thank you so much, Pumpkin, for keep coming. DJ McLovin, I try to show by example and do my best to not force or push, but it just ends up feeling like I over-explain, and he agrees, but based on his actions, it's clear he doesn't understand at all. Who are we talking about, DJ McLovin? You talking about your partner? I know, talking about your friend that you want to... okay, so I try to show by example, but he just ends up feeling like I over-explain and he agrees, but based on his action, it's clear he doesn't understand. Yes, accept him. Accept your friend. Don't try to change them. Just be. You will guide them by being, if they're ready. If they're not, it's okay. We can't change everyone. If you find it difficult that they don't have a level of awareness, it's a you problem. It's not a theirs problem. Right? We can only accept people. Love them or leave them. This is what I always say. Sometime when we are on a self-awareness journey, we will lose some people in our lives because indeed we are going to be on a different plane. We're going to be thinking different thoughts, having a different attitude, and if they're not on the same wavelength, it's not going to work. We must accept this as well. Grace, It took me a long time to accept, but I understand so much more than ever before. Okay. DJ McLovin. But then it feels like I am not doing enough to help him at least start his journey. It sucks. It's not for you. It's not your job to help him start his journey. It's his journey. You said it yourself. It's not yours. You have your journey to focus on. He has his, and everyone has their own journey. Right? So we want to be kind and do our best, but this is your best. There's nothing else to do. Accept that this is your best, and accept that they may follow you, they may not, and it's okay. Right? If you feel that they are really, really behind, they're suffering, and you really want to help them, you're projecting your own unresolved hurt. Accept that we're all on our journey, and we all find out what we need to find out at the right time and in the right way. Does it make sense? DJ McLovin, do you agree with that? Would you agree with that or not? Hyperion Solomon, oh hey, it's Didican, hey man, hello. Hyperion, DJ McLovin at Christina. He replied perfectly, I wish you the best on this never-ending journey. Christina, DJ, tell him how his actions feel to you. Straight up tell him you're being a jerk in this and this and you need some tough love. So Christina, I will disagree with you. There's no such thing as tough love. There's only love. Tough love is it's something that people come up with. Tough love cannot be tough. Tough love comes from some traditions of being cruel to people because we didn't know any better, and now we know better. We don't need to be doing this anymore. So there's no such thing as tough love. If you try to give tough love to someone, they will be resentful. They will feel the energy being negative, as opposed to supportive, loving, encouraging. If we are trying to give tough love to someone, it's because we are projecting, again, our own repressed shame and fears, and we're trying to shake them because we want to change something about ourselves, but we are avoiding those feelings for ourselves. So that's what projection is about. And so, yes, I'm sorry, Christina. I know you come from a good place. I know you don't mean it, but tough love is not a thing that we want to believe in anymore. It's toxic. It hurts people. Yeah. And don't say something like you are being a jerk. If you come from a place of love and kindness and compassion, instead of being judgmental, you are being a jerk. Tough love. This is very unkind. And I believe that this is because, again, we live in a society that teaches us that. I used to be like that, and so much worse. So I get it. I'm not attacking you at all. But it's about understanding that we have a lot of habits that are unkind and that are outdated. We want to upgrade them. We don't have to be horrible to others anymore. We can come from a place of kindness. We can treat others the way we would like people to treat us. I hope it makes sense, Christina. Chair Bear. Oh, hello, Chair Bear. Chair Bear. Rabil, how can I handle intrusive thoughts? It's very stressful. The thoughts are always unnecessary afterwards. So there are different types of intrusive thoughts. But generally speaking, when we talk about intrusive thoughts, that'll be thoughts that are very disturbing. But we can't get rid of them and they keep coming. So there are a lot of different ways we can address this, but generally speaking, what we do with intrusive thoughts is to question them. You want to challenge your own thoughts. You want to realize that thoughts are just thoughts. They're not telling you the truth always. They're not trying to support you or your well-being always either. They're just thoughts. They're just happenings. And so what you want to do is to challenge the thought and tell yourself, okay, that thought. Again, it depends which kind of intrusive thought we're talking about. Are you talking about something to do with sex and violence, inappropriate thoughts? Are we talking about other types of thought that are not as bad? Can you give me an example of what you call intrusive thoughts, please? And that'll be very useful for me. Tell me more about yourself, and tell me more about how you experience intrusive thoughts. That would be very useful for me. DJ McLovin, yes, I do agree with what you're saying, and I appreciate your feedback. Thank you. DJ McLovin, I know that the moment I try to do anything on someone else's journey, I step off of my own path. And I'm also aware there's a lot more in me that needs healing and acknowledgement, so I can accept and let go of anything that is out of my control. Yes. And even the idea of control. A lot of people say, focus on what you can control, but my understanding of it is actually that there's no control. No one can control anything. We have a power of influence that is only for a certain amount of time. It's never forever anyway. But we can never control anything. We suffer because of the illusion of control. We want to accept that there are things that are happening all the time, and we can only do our best to make the most of whatever we are dealing with. So we have a power of influence, but we don't control anything. Control is born from fear. The fear that we have no control. We're at the mercy of an unpredictable and uncertain universe. Instead of trusting it and going with it, believing that it supports us, and we always do our best to influence it in whichever way we can, but ultimately it's not down to us. Whatever outcome is always down to everything that needs to come into place for that thing to happen. Rabil, stuff like forgetting to close the door, etc., things like that. It's not intrusive thought, forgetting to close the door. Forgetting to close the door, what do you mean by intrusive thought and forgetting to close the door? If you forget to close the door, that could be because your brain, I talked about it earlier on this video, and again, for those who are new to my channel, all my live streams are to be found and replayed the next day once it's fully uploaded on YouTube. So if you want to retrieve information, just wait for the live to be uploaded and you can replay it. It's on my profile, on the video, on the live section. And so, if you find it difficult to remember to close the door, to switch off the gas, or things like that, to me, it tells me more about either you potentially being on the ADHD spectrum and / or having some sort of CPTSD or PTSD. Because when we are having those conditions, our brain is focused on different priorities. Again, we're looking for some sort of emotional safety. And so that's why we forget about what we're doing, because the mind is thinking about other things, trying to scan the environment. Christina, it's just me. I was stubborn in my ignorance. When people were talking to me to guide gently, I didn't hear it, didn't see my selfishness or that I could do things differently. Again, you are not selfish. You are doing whatever you deemed was right for you then. That's it. We need to let go of this idea of selfish, weak, bad, stupid. We are which we are based on our past. And so what we want to do is to realize that we can always upgrade, but it's not because we are selfish. Whatever that you've done that you call yourself selfish for is because that's the only way you knew how to cope with that situation, how to regulate your own nervous system, how to stay safe. So it's not like a conscious cognitive process. It's an emotional one. It's a subconscious one. It's someone that you have no access on your day-to-day routine. You just react emotionally because of the program you have created for yourself. And that program is the result of your upbringing. Be kind to yourself. We all know, again, what we know. You talk about your ignorance. We're all ignorant of some things, and we will all always be ignorant of some other things. And so ignorance is not something to be ashamed about. What we want to do is to change our mindset so that we can start to learn from things, be curious, be open-minded, instead of being shameful about ourselves. Thank you for the little heart. Manohar Reddy. Hey bro, I'm going to block that person. Hide the user on this channel. Bang, that's it. Forget about any trolls, any derogatory, ever so slightly offensive or racist remarks. We just get rid of them. For what? What happens? So that person doesn't know, but whatever comment that person has put is invisible to all of us. Only him or her will see it in the channel. For what? What happens when a star is sucked into a black hole? I don't know. You have to ask Dr. Cox or Neil deGrasse Tyson. Christina, I thought I was always wronged. Never saw the wrong I did or allowed to happen. Admitting being wrong doesn't mean accepting the wrong done to you, but it took decades to see that. I hope that you're in a better place now. That's the main thing that I want to say. Right? Samuel, hi, thank you for your vids. They help keep me stable. Fantastic. Thank you, Samuel. I'm very happy with that. Sonia Hurrell, how can someone make a final decision on divorce? How can someone detach from the what ifs and the disappointments of what didn't and then won't happen? Acceptance. Accept that this is life, this is it. Accept that it's only one event in your life and there is going to be plenty more. Accept that it was a person. There are plenty more people out there. Acceptance, as opposed to wishing for a better past, as opposed to trying to change something that we cannot change. This is one of the most important things to learn, and it's so hard for so many of us. But the moment we can realize that there's no past, there's no time machine, we cannot go back in the past. It's not possible. We can't go into a machine and like the DeLorean drive back into the past and change things. It's not possible. Then we're going to focus on now. Okay, this happened, I accept this happened. However, I can reset, I can let go of expectations, and I can focus on how I'm going to learn from that lesson and how I'm going to make sure that now I optimize anything that I'm going to do now from that point onwards. Is that what you meant, Sonia? How can someone make a final decision on divorce? How can someone detach from the what if and the disappointment of what didn't? Yes, absolutely. Let go of regret. Let go of the idea that you can change the past. Just that. It takes some time, but accept. Just keep repeating to yourself, I can go back in the past. It's past, it's gone. It's okay. Because I can write my present and my future. This is far more interesting. We can either choose to be trapped into a place where we have no power, or we can choose to write a new chapter where we have some power. Right? Meet some new people, open yourself, connect with the world again, and see what it brings you. Thank you for the little emojis. Georgina Williams, thank you. Samuel, can I ask for advice? Of course. I was just told I could get a promotion at work. Should be happy, but I cried. I just got my recent job and finally felt a bit stable. And if it moves up, it's because everyone quit. Okay, so ... At this point in time, I don't know your question yet. Hopefully, in the next thread, you will explain. Georgina, be kind to yourself. Good advice. Yes. Manifest her. Was it worth it? What are we talking about? Manifest her. I want to become one. I don't understand. Manifest her. Pumpkin Puff, blocking the haters. Yes. Christina Kapinen, thank you. I'm having a hard time forgiving myself, though I know I did my best with the tools and the knowledge I had at the time. Yes. So bring that understanding here. Tell yourself, it's okay. I could not have done anything better. But now I can learn how to be happier the best as I can with that knowledge. You will always learn more. You will always become better as the process of a lifetime. And so focus on your journey, focus on your progress, focus on the good stuff, the good bits, as opposed to trying to change the past. Georgina, radical acceptance, yes. Attachment brings on depression. Indeed, I agree with that. Samuel, there's no past. Oh, you're the first to say that. Yes, indeed. There's no future either, if you think about it. There's only ever now. And this is the premises of mindfulness. There's not a place called the past that you can ever return to. And there's not a place called the future that you can ever arrive to. You're only ever in the present. And so when we are anxious, worried, thinking about the future, we're just creating suffering for us in the moment, right now. And when we are angry at the past, again, we're creating that state in the present moment. There's no past, there's no future, there's only ever now. Now. It's always constantly happening. When we think of the past or the future, we're just imagining some things. And if we can realize that even in terms of neuroscience, something that you may find interesting is that we can never remember something that happened in the past exactly how it happened. If we've been playing it a lot of time, we only remember the last time we have played it. Every time we play it, it changes a little bit more. And so that confirms furthermore that there's no such thing as the past. There's only our perception of it. And if the future is the same thing, when you think about the future, we're just imagining something. No one knows what it's going to be like. And so what matters is not the past or the future. What matters is the relationship that we have with the past and the future based on who we believe we are and whether or not we believe that we are enough to make it in this life. We go back in the past and the future because we are not satisfied with some aspects of it. We're trying to change those things. And we're looking in the wrong place. The present is the only place we can do something. The only place we can change something in our life is now. I can't change anything about the past. I can't change anything about the future. But I can change how I feel right here and now by choosing better thoughts. It's 8 o'clock. I'm going to read the last comments quickly, but it's time for me to go. I'm here from 6 to 8 p.m. Samuel, thank you. Thank you. Georgina, I thought you was AI at first. At first, nice to see you're human and so wise. I'm no robot. No, I'm not. Yes, no. Not everything is AI, fortunately. And I'm glad that you appreciate my humanity. Samuel Badillo, I guess my question was, why did I cry? I should know the answer, but it caught me off guard because I wasn't happy. Because it wasn't happy tears. Should I use this emotional reaction to decide if I shouldn't turn down? You know what? Can you come back Friday? I'm here on YouTube live every Wednesdays and Fridays from 6 to 8 p.m. UK time. And now it's time for me to go. So I would love to speak to you about it. Please do come back. If you don't follow me already, subscribe so that you are reminded to join that live, and hopefully we can continue our conversation. If you can come from 6 p.m. at the beginning, that will give me more time for me to talk about this. Okay? Samuel, the author, Georgina, how to forgive and feel forgiveness. I will talk about it next time if you don't mind. Either next Friday or next week, Wednesday or Friday. Right. Christina, cannot fix the past. I'm just happy that I'm finally conscious of where I can start improving. Yes? Kenzie Smith, thank you. Appreciate love and respect the space you share. Thank you, Kenzie. Georgina, I love you. Oh, I love you too. Thank you. Samuel, okay, thank you. Thank you, Samuel. Pat O'Sullivan, lovely to drop in and tune in. Thanks and bless. Thank you. Guys, I'm going to go now. Thank you so much for watching. Again, subscribe if you haven't yet. Do get your friends involved if you believe you can benefit from my help. And if you need any more details about me as a therapist and coach, there's a link on my bio to my website. And other than that, I will come back. Also, check my last video, please. I publish a new long-form video every week on YouTube. And today, I put the new one. It's called Toxic Shame. Check it out. And let me know how you think about it. It's something that is genuinely useful. It's the difference between shame and guilt and how we can learn to detach ourselves from our behavior, which is very much to do with anything that we talked about today. And so, DJ McLovin, have a wonderful rest of your days, night. Yes, I will. Same to you. Christina, good night, everyone. Love and strength. Thank you. Same to you, Christina. DJ McLovin, likewise. Guys, I love you all. Look after yourself. Remember to be kind to others if you can. But if you can't, at least be kind to yourself. Okay? Bye now.